Just wait for the live to catch up and that I can see you guys here. Hello, I'm back. Very excited to be here. Hello, I see you. Hi, Helen. Hi, Mitch. How are you? Happy Friday night. Happy 4th of July for my American friends. Hi, Patty. Hi, Virginia. How are you? Nicole. Hello. Hi, guys. Hi, Robin. How are you? So I'm here. I'm back. I missed you guys. I hope you're all doing well. Very excited to be back creating a live with you guys. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Natalie. How are you, Beth? Tony, Jordan. Oh my goodness, there's so many of you here tonight. Hello, Seth Apter, my very talented friend. Hello, Carrie. Lots of our cruise friends are here too, which is very exciting. Hola, my friend in Puerto Rico. Very excited to be back, like I've said 12 times now. Hello, Cherie. My brain is very slow today, so just know I did come home sick. I have been battling that all week, and so my brain is it's a little delayed, but very happy to be here. Hi, Jill Bushart, how are you? Lots of friends are here tonight. So very excited. Did you see that I just introduced my new Christmas collection, Wrapped in Ribbons? So I did post that. I saw Paige had her beautiful new Halloween collection up, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'll post. I don't have in-person live product yet, but I had images to post, and it's on its way. It's being shipped, so we will do a walkthrough of that. It's all a lot of stuff all at the same time. So bold and bright, just ending up in your hands. My kits are going to be going out soon for our Lollapalooza weekend. And then we have the mixed media that just was hitting stores and just shipping out, right? It's crazy. So the collection's called Wrapped in Ribbons. If you search it, today was the embargo date that people can post about it. So you're going to see it out there in the wild. There will be a weekend event for that one. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to really do it up, but I don't want to bombard you with a lot, right? Because Bold and Bright, some of you guys are still working on that. Just to give you an idea of what is in the works, what is coming up, right? I know Christmas yet. I agree, but it's out there, right? If you notice, everybody's doing kind of Christmas in July and stuff. So Christmas is out there. It's called Wrapped in Ribbons. I'm not going to do the pre-order until August because, like, I know that you guys will go and support all of your favorite online communities, your in-person stores. But if you're looking for my Christmas kit, it's not going to go up for a little bit. I always need to change this because I don't want it to look like I'm swearing over it. It says hello. It doesn't say just HE double hockey sticks. So it will be coming. Bold and Bright is out. It will be start shipping next week. I have been waiting. I didn't get the paper pads. I didn't get the 12 by 12, the 6 by 8, or the album. So all of it will be arriving to me next week. So that will be shipping, and I'm very excited about that. Thank you for your patience, because as you know, I have to put the pre-orders up early. Otherwise, you guys get excited and my kits won't sell. So I put those up, as you know, that's how I pay the bills. So I saw that I sent the newsletter out to just kind of keep you up to date, because I think people were panicking that you could see that Bold and Bright was in stores shipping. People are creating with it, as Keisha's here, and I saw her beautiful project with it. So it's out there in the wild, right? But just because my name's on it, as we know, I don't always get the stuff I'm supposed to get in time or in a timely manner. So it's coming. I've ordered, remember I talked to you, I don't have a fall collection this year. So I ordered the new Maggie Holmes and the new Bo Bunny and some 49 and Market. And it's all in my studio space ready to get packed. That one's going to be beautiful. That one's going to go for sale later in the fall, and that class will happen in the new year. And then there is something exciting coming out from Simple Stories that I'm going to have out in a little bit. So it's going to be a lot. Buy whatever you want. You don't have to invest in all of it. Know that there's lots of kits, so they'll be there when you're ready. But I'm not going to put a pre-order up now. A lot of people are doing some pre-order stuff, but I'm going to wait because we still have Bold and Bright just came out, right? It's a lot. So do I pay extra for the kisses? I love it. I'll give the kisses for free. So a lot of information right out there. Anybody have any questions before we get started? Because I've been gone now. I was in Italy, in Venice, Ravenna, Italy. I went to Padua, Italy. And then we did back-to-back cruises with a bunch of VBoo crew members from all over the world. It's crazy, right? We went to Santorini. I went to Mykonos. I went to Montenegro. I don't know where else we went. We were everywhere. We went everywhere. So it was awesome. I got to spend some creative time and fun time with a lot of our crew. It was awesome. And then I was gone for a long time. And now, right, it's just trying to get home and get sorted. So the cruises were good. They were very good. It was a wonderful experience, very busy, very hot, but I missed you guys and I'm happy to be back. So when I flip the camera around, I'll look to see if I've missed anything. Like I said, I'm getting myself organized. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff with the new mixed media collection, but that one is going to be because it was created for the most part for a end cap at Joann's Stores, fabric stores, Joann Stores. So it will be kind of replenished and going on for months. So I'm going to be doing lots of stuff with it. Today we're going to play with it exclusively, and then I'm going to start mixing in some of my other favorite mixed media, some Tim Holtz and Dina Wakely and Diane Reevely, and my friend Seth Apter's here. I'm going to put an order in for some of his embossing powders so we can start kind of mixing all of it, because I know you guys have all the things, and a gift just arrived today for my friend Tim Holtz. So some new distress things that I was going to put an order in, and then look, my friend surprised me, and my friends at Rangers surprised me with a box. So that will be coming down the pipeline. So there's going to be a lot of info. Don't be surprised if there are extra videos going on, because I'm not going to be able to do everything just in a Friday night. And tonight is going to be a long one. I'm going to be here working for a very long time because look I came home and I started playing with the mixed media, mixed materials pad, and I started making a little art journal. So we are going to, I don't know if we'll do the sewing tonight, but we're going to be doing some stencil stamping, some painting. We're going to use all of the mediums, and we're going to make a base that will be really fun for those freaking amazing ephemera packs, right? Have you guys got your hands on them? Those big ephemera packs that, like I said, it was a Joann's thing, but I love that all of our favorite stores have them. They are at Cherry on Top. They're at scrapbook.com. This one is called Artist. So I went to order it because I wanted to use it in one of my upcoming classes, and it's sold out right now. So I'm hoping that it comes back in stock. But these packs are really fun with all of the vellum stickers. So I thought that would be fun if we do tonight, just kind of playing with some mixed media and some techniques. And even though I'm only doing it in a little 6x6 junk journal, art journal, any of these techniques can be layered for layout. So I think it's a very good place to start, right? Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. So if we do it just using them kind of individually and layering them on little 6x6, it can be almost a recipe book. And then we can do it, if you're into scrapbooking, you can do it on a 12x12 layout. If you are into art journaling, you can do that, cards, make wrapping paper, all of the things. I really feel like, you guys know that I always say I'm the gateway drug for people who don't feel like they can do art. My whole thing is I want to hold your hand and give you the confidence to do the things. And what is really exciting is that you don't need a lot of things. You can have some acrylic paint. Stamps and stencils are your go-to. I really do believe that those are the tools to make everyone feel super confident in creating the art, unless you're really great at hand drawing, and then you can do a lot of this stuff. So that's kind of where I thought we would start tonight. It's kind of a fun thing to do. There's lots of you here. Like I said, thank you guys. You just keep showing up. You keep supporting me. You don't even know how good it makes this girl in her basement's heart feel. So thank you for being here tonight. Let's flip the camera and let's get started. So I have to jiggle you because, like I said, girl in her basement. It's not a fancy setup. I've tried to use the streaming platform, but then the video's blurry. So until I get someone who's smarter with all of that stuff, and that's not this girl, we just do this jiggle and flip and all that stuff. So just a second, whoop. And my room isn't even a mess. I've been cleaning it up. I really am feeling, I think it's getting old, that I need to do a major cleanup. I feel like I need to clear my brain. Hello, Brienne. How are you? I miss you too. I miss seeing all my friends. Do you remember back in the day when all of us were stuck at home and all of us were finding each other on the interwebs, and then our lives got busy again, which I promised I was never going to be that busy again, because it was really good. I found for my mental health and all the other things to kind of do some things that were just for me. And then we got right back into being busy and never making time for ourselves again. So I'm here for that. I'm here for giving you reasons to do something that is good for your mind, body, and spirit, right? And I find that's making art and crafting. So I love it. So did I miss any questions? Did you guys have any questions? So yes, thank you for you guys who ran to go and peek at Wrapped in Ribbons, my newest collection that's coming out. It's just images. I shared for now just the digital images of it. When I have the live in-person product, we'll do our typical walkthrough, right? Because I find that the walkthroughs really are helpful because it's hard to tell. Like a lot of people are like, why black in a Christmas collection? And I'll tell you, black to me is a good neutral. So if I do a rainbow Christmas tree, if I do non-traditional colors, traditional colors, I like black as a neutral. So we can put photos on that and make it pop. We can do some mixed media on top of it. So I love black in anything. I really do think that black is, it doesn't make the collection dark. It just gives you kind of anything goes. It gives you an anything goes in the collection. And there's some really fun things. There's some layered tassels in it. Really fun. It's going to be really fun. So excited. Sad that the album didn't make the cut. I'm hoping I can get them to release the art in digital form for the inside pages of that album so we could print them for 6x8 because it really, really is fun. Any new stamps and dies coming? Karen, there's a beautiful one with the Christmas collection, Wrapped in Ribbons. It's actually stamps and dies in one set. So very exciting about that. And then I'm working on some other stuff. There's some other stuff coming that will be like Vicki Boutin private label. Some Stamps, Stencils, dies, a whole layering system that is going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to take a little while. It's going to take a little while. I need a Kleenex tonight, so you're just going to have to bear with me. Like I said, I came home, Rich is like, how you feeling? I said, I'm feeling better, but it won't completely go away, so my nose just keeps running like crazy. The last 6 weeks, yeah, emotional roller coaster. I hear you, Keisha, right? Just trying to keep my poop together because some days are just really hard, right? Some days are just really hard, but happy to be here making some art with you guys. I was almost going to cancel tonight. And then I went, no, I'm going to go play with my friends. It will be good. It will be good for me. So I want to talk to you about some things. So take a look. I came home and I cut all these sheets out of this new mixed media pad. So I saw somebody posted, I'm trying to remember who it was, right? That they played with these sheets and made some beautiful cards and such. So I was like, I'm going to play with those too. I think this will be a fun thing to do. I did sew this, right? Sew this, but we can do just regular binding. Hello, Rebecca. Regular binding with a poker tool, pokey tool, or an awl, A-W-L, awl. And we could do, I got like a waxed thread that you could do binding on this. But for tonight, I think we should just really make the backgrounds, and there'd probably be a part 2 to this, okay? For any of you guys joining me for the first time, that maybe I just popped up in your feed, hello and welcome. This is a live, it's pretty much gonna be a class tonight. It's gonna be long. I'd probably be on here, I wouldn't be surprised, till 11 o'clock. Because we're gonna be painting and doing all the things and connecting. For some people, there is a lot of talking that goes on tonight because it is kind of a community thing. If that's not your jam, just watch it after the fact and you can just fast forward through the talking and just do the education part. Whatever works for you works for me. You don't have to tell me, though, that you don't like to listen to me talk and sing and all the rest of it. Because you know what? That's what is awesome about YouTube. You have 12 million different YouTube, what do they called? Pages, channels that you can go and find if I'm not your jam, because it's okay. Lots of flavors out there, right? So one of the things I'm going to use tonight are the paint pens, which I absolutely love. They went on this, which is the fiber paper, beautifully. So we are going to look at, this is out of the ephemera pack, which I love. It was one of the pieces of acetate that I made a flap out of. So we probably won't do this tonight, but it will be in the coming, like when we decorate this, we'll do this. So I heard somebody say, oh my goodness, you got the sewing machine out. My mom bought me a new one for Christmas, and I just took it out today, and it is a beauty. It's a beauty, and I even use gold thread. Do you see that? It's gold thread. So I set it up and I was sewing with it, and it's so much better than my old machine that, remember, was kind of eating the paper. So it's sitting behind me and it is like my new favorite thing. So we are going to do some stencil stamping. We're going to do some painting, just kind of creating bases that we could then go back in and stamp on, stencil on top of, add ephemera, and layer. I think it'll be really fun. If you want, sorry, a lot of ums tonight because my brain is not catching up to my mouth. If you want, you could do these kind of as recipes, like kind of a technique book, whatever you want to do. Hello, Irene, how are you? I've missed you. Hello, Cherie, how are you? She's on a retreat, on your way to a retreat. Very exciting in Australia. There is the fun thing. So when I was on the cruise, we had friends from Sweden, Germany, the Netherlands, England. Where else were you guys from? I don't know if anybody's out there. It was really, really awesome. And nice to, what machine did Sheila get you? It is the Singer Heavy Duty. We bought it at Michael's. And it is really good. Super easy to use. The bobbin was so easy to fill and to put inside the machine. Very excited about it. So when I can figure out how to set up multiple cameras, I will be filming with that. So much stuff. I'm staying home more. I've decided I need to stay home more. I have been gone for 4,000 years. I need to stay home more because I can't make art when I'm gone all the time. So I want to keep doing the cruises, but I want to just keep doing more videos and all the rest of it because I love it. So we're going to look at that iridescent on there. That's, oh, the new paints too. These ones are great. And when that gel plate, when we finally, there's a white one too. It's a great acrylic paint. If you're out and you see it and it's on sale, oh, it's a good one. These are good paints. When the gel plate is finally, we've worked out the kinks and it's working, we're going to be doing a ton of stuff with that too. So be ready for it. Just be ready. Get the things and buckle up, because we're going to be doing lots of fun things. So I crinkled the paper. We're going to do some little paintings, just layers tonight. Okay. So something I realized too is this paper I thought was kind of cottony, and it's more of a plastic. So the tricky thing is now is to find a stamp, an ink that will stamp on it and actually dry. Paint works beautifully on this, okay? So when we play, we just need to be aware of that. Hello, Glenda. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Valerie and Wanda. Oh my goodness, and hello from Brazil. I love that. How do I say your name? Dies? Tell me phonetically how I pronounce that, because Viana, very pretty. So very exciting. So this is what we're doing tonight. I'm going to lay strips out and we're just going to decorate. Oh, I love this. Don't you love that? That's paint and stamps, paint. So we have our watercolor paint. We're going to draw some flowers. We're going to just do the things. Okay, just do the things. Look at that one. Side pocket. And all I did was paint underneath it. And then it's the acetate on top. I love that. I love that. Hi, Marnie from Australia. Daisy. I love that. That's so pretty. So let's do the things, okay? So like I said, I was testing my inks. Okay, so I grabbed the black inks that I have are VersaFine, Gina K Amalgam ink, and Archival ink. So this is the vellum, and this is the Gina K, the Archival, and the VersaFine. So the one thing, because this is a non-porous surface, this vellum, so it doesn't mean that it won't work. It just might need to cure. It might not dry right away. And you have to be careful using heat guns with some of this stuff, because you could melt it, right? So you could melt it. I am very excited that you found it at Joann's in Fort Worth, Texas. That's very exciting. It's also available on my website at vickiboutin.com. And as we're working through this, just know, guys, I'm gonna do a sale in the next probably coming 2 weeks. I have all those grab boxes that are ready. So once I start getting the bold and bright out, be prepared. I have a whole bunch of stuff to add to my store. I'm going to be doing that. Like, there's a whole bin beside me of stuff that's going to go up in there. And I'm going to do a sale as well. So a stocking up sale. So be prepared for it. That's all coming. It's going to be good. So let's look at these now. Let's see. Did they dry? I don't know. So the Gina K, let's see. It dried. So it worked very nicely on the vellum. I know the Archival works, but the Archival is an oil-based ink. So you just have to be careful, because it might still transfer. This one, I love the color and intensity of the VersaFine, but I'm not sure if it will work on here. See? I don't think it's going to dry. So you definitely need to test anytime you have new substrates, materials, mediums. I really feel like you need to swatch it. You need to test things on it. I haven't bought in 100 million years. What's the ink we used to sniff? Oh my goodness. Help me, somebody out there. The one that works on glass and stuff. Somebody help me. I was looking for it and I don't have it anymore, or it's hiding. When are you going to help me? You're going to know the one I'm talking about that dries out. Stays on. Thank you. So I'm going to go out and buy myself some Stays On, and I'll test that as well. And I'll get back to you on the Stays On. If one of you guys have it out there and you try it, just know that it might have to cure. Like, this is something that might not dry right away. Okay, so just be aware. But I know that the Archival will work. The Gina K worked. It just took a little while to dry. This is the tricky one. This is the fiber paper, which is a plastic. It is not a natural fiber, so it's tricky to find something that is going to cure on here. So I know that my archival did not. Like, it transferred. So here's a paper towel. I was testing. Let's see if the Gina K is transferring or if it's set. See? Transfer. And the VersaFine, I know for 100% is going to transfer because it wouldn't set on here. Transfer. So let's test something right now and see if this will work. I'm going to, once that's on here, let's see if we seal it with a multi-medium. So this is my matte acrylic gel. This is a Vicki Boutin one. There's a Ranger one there. You can get it from Golden, but this is definitely something you guys need to have in your creative toolbox because it does a lot of magical things. It works as a glue, it seals, you can decoupage with it, right? So let's see, could you do VersaFine with embossing powder? But Natalie, you can't heat set. This is, remember, is like a plastic woven fiber. It will melt. So I was thinking that, oh, perfect. You could probably do it on the vellum. I think the vellum would be heat stable, but we need to talk about the things, right? And you know, so my friend Seth, if you're not familiar with him, tonight you want to check him out. Seth does some sexy stuff with mixed media. He just posted that he is has a class. There was a spot. And if I could do it in October, Seth, I would be coming and taking your class because I love that Seth's style is, an aesthetic is completely different than mine, but I feel like there's a whole world of learning with what he does with melting embossing powders and layering. He is just a creative genius, so you definitely want to check him out. So let's see, I'm going to put some matte medium on here. Now, the only thing you got to watch, right, is because it didn't set, that you want to clean your brush in between it because you don't want to carry the black around, right? So we're going to see if that will work because I want a black. I always like to finish things, right, with a black. So let's see. Just don't overwork it. Clean your brush and we'll see if the matte medium will set our ink. We're going to probably have to come back and look in a little bit, but man, if that will work, that's a great solution, right? To kind of seal the black. So I'm going to do it. I love the VersaFine on here. It is a very true black and it stamps very nice and opaque. So let's do that because it's just one of those things I was testing, like I do, test the things, and we'll see if that will set. Because that would be a perfect solution then, right? So we'll see. Okay, I'm going to let that dry and we will see what happens with that. Because I don't think distress ink is not going to work on that fiber paper. Like anything that's like a water soluble, it needs to be like acrylic paint. So let's do one tester on part of this too. Again, you don't want to overwork it because you will get the gray halo, but we'll see if that, when it dries, if that will seal our artwork in, our ink in, okay? So that's just a little thing. We're going to talk about the vellum. You're going to see it on here, but once we put the other mediums on, it'll be good. Would Tim Holtz glaze, the micro glaze, the distress glaze, it might work. It might work. I just don't know if, because it's such a non-porous surface, if we start rubbing that with a blending tool or a finger, we could really, really move the ink around. The archival goes on there, Heather, but it still has a little bit of an oily residue that's transferring, right? So we'll figure it out. I will, what's Seth's channel? So he is Seth, just search Seth Apter on Facebook and on Instagram, and he's a great human. So when Simon shows up here, I love Simon, I love Tim, Seth, I just love, even if he wasn't an artist, he's just a really nice guy. So definitely check him out. And that he showed up tonight, right? That's the whole thing that you will learn if you hang out with me. It is, I love the peoples, right? It's not just the Vicki show. If there's something that we can share and learn, I'm all over that. It's not the Vicki show, right? Okay, were there any other questions? Maybe stamp with black paint? Yeah, we definitely could do that, but you know it's hard because I'm not using red rubber stamps. They're acrylic, or they're the photopolymer, or whatever these ones are, because we know these are very cheap and cheerful. This set that they did with the Joann's collection. So you could do it, just clean them up. Or even, because like I said, these are really inexpensive. This might be some of the things, like if you love the patterns on it, you might want to buy 2 sets. Have one that you can really mix with your arts, test them with your art mediums, and then have a set that is perfectly nice and clean for stamping. I'm telling you, my mouth and my head are not on the same speed tonight. I'm talking away and not making any sense at all, so just bear with me. I'm going to open my stencils. So with this collection, but also when you get the gel plate set, there's a whole set of stamps and stuff in there, and stencils, not stamps, stencils in there that you'll have to play with as well. But we're not talking about that yet until it is up to my standard, and we're not there yet. So let's open this set, have them ready. One of my favoriteest things is Stamps and Stencils. Seriously. I love them. I just feel like they make your possibilities endless. So I'm only going to use the 2 sets, because I feel like a lot of you guys have collected the things, right? Do you have the things from the mixed media? Is it brand new to you? You still need the blue pack with the script. It's a good set, Julie. So when we did this, the whole idea was to use art that was already existing, so they didn't have to go and do new art. So when they did it, I'm like, well, then I want to pick the stencil patterns. I want to pick the stamps that I really love, that I think have longevity, or that people might not have got their hands on. So that was definitely, I need to find the script stamp. I have all of the things. Which stamp? This one, Natalie? Where'd I put them? This one? So just so you know, this one sold out on my website, but I have another order in for it. So this one sold out on my website, but I have another order in. I know some of you ordered it and then I had to cancel the order because they short shipped it, right? They didn't ship it. When you get one, please keep one for me, definitely. Definitely. So these are our 3 sets. Trying to get my act together. Or 2 sets of 3. So there are 6 stencils. We have this heart, which the reason I like this is it's 50-50, right? Of open space and of like positive and negative. So for stencil stamping, doing lots of things, I love the heart and I love the scale of it. Hello, Danielle. How are you, DC? This one, oh my goodness, who doesn't love a hexagon beehive? And then a nice floral. These are nice. They'll layer beautifully together. This is one of my favorite stencils in all of the Vibu collections. I love this script. I wish I could have them in 8x10 or 12x12 would make me super happy. And then this, because it is also a repeating pattern, so you could move it all over and you could fill any size. I could paint a wall with this if I wanted because it's repeating. And then these funky circles. So these are the 3 we're going to use. I am using the mixed media pad. I have cut everything into 12x6 sheets. 12x6 sheets, right? So that we can just start making some art. So I have 2 sheets of vellum. I have 2 sheets of the watercolor, 2 sheets of the cardstock, 2 sheets of the fiber paper, and 1 sheet of my foundations paper for the cover. Okay. So we're going to get our stuff. I'm going to stand up tonight too. I'm going to stand up to do the art. I have the paint, so I can put that black paint in there too. I have my paint. I have my paint markers, which I freaking love these. And I have the color wheel inks. I just love to look at these. These make me completely happy. The other thing I'm super excited about, if they can make it happen, is I'm hoping we can bring my art crayons back. Because, but I want the exact same ones that we had. Because I have to say, even though my name is on it, I'm not saying this for any other reason than they are one of the best water-soluble crayons out there. I need that back. Are any more of your collections coming out? American Crafts Digital Store? I don't know. Remember, Inez, that is one of those things that I don't talk about a lot because I don't make any money at all off of any of my designs on the digital store. So it's a great thing for people. Like, I love that people can use it. They can manipulate the stuff, all the rest of it. But it's one of those things that is disheartening, right? That when they go up there, it's one of those things that I have no control over any of that stuff. So I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that. But there's lots of changes going on at American Crafts, so I'm not really sure what's happening there. But I don't even know, like, what collections are up there right now. I haven't even looked, right? So I'm not sure. Can't answer that. But just keep checking, because I know that you love to use those, right? So definitely just keep checking. So I've cut my papers. So if you're going to work along with me tonight, I know a lot of times you guys watch and you will do later. You will need to do that to prep. We're going to lay it out and we're going to literally make art on like at least 2 sheets at a time. So you need to have your stencils. You need paper towels because we're going to paint on the stencils. We're going to stamp on them. I have paint brushes. I have foam sponges because I find that these are the easiest to use with the metallic watercolors. I have both sets of the COSMIC Watercolors. I have a mister, and I have some stamping ink and a stamping block. Let's do some things. So exciting. So like I said, when I get my mediums, right, when we come back to visit some of this stuff, because we're going to do some of these sheets, won't make it into the album, but then we can use the dies and stamps, cut them out. These are what the stamps look like that are with that set, right? One of my favorite ever. I love this leaf. I would love it in all different scales. I love it. Butterflies, flowers. This set makes me super happy. And the new one that came out with Bold and Bright is another circle set that will layer beautifully with this. And then this set, which you guys all loved. I want to do a bigger one of that script stamp. Like, we need a big, huge one of that. I love it. This one layers beautifully to do backgrounds. This is from like early days with my collection. So I love that. So this is what we're going to be using tonight. I have it all ready. I'm gonna get myself situated. And let's make some art. So one of my favorite things that I made in that book, and we're going to duplicate it right now, and we can do it on multiple. And the other thing that we aren't using tonight, but we'll come back and look at later, right, are the texture pastes. Oh, I love them. Hello, Kristen. I missed you guys too. You guys are the best. You guys are the best that you show up and you let me know you missed me, that you didn't forget about me while I was gone. You're the best. Makes me feel really good. So thank you very much. So these watercolors, to get them started, I like to just put some water in it and it softens up your medium and they're good to go. We have our inks, which I might use the Gina. I might try Gina. Let's see if we have any. But this must have dried now, right? Look at, when it dries, it's not dry yet. Because this is really almost like non-porous. It's like painting on glass because it's like a plastic. So I don't know yet. It's not dry. I was excited. I was like, let me show you. And it's not ready. But this one is. So definitely worked on here, but it will buckle your paper because the moisture is going to go in it. So we're going to find solutions. We're going to find solutions. I'm going to buy some different inks and see what I can get with that. But where's my book? This was my favorite thing that I made. So let's start. We're going to start with this. And I want to see, we'll do it on here, and I might do it on a piece of paper too. I'm going to do it on both. So I'm going to put out a fiber paper, and I'm going to put out the watercolor paper. And we're going to do a version of that on 2 different substrates backgrounds. Okay? Thanks, Irene. I'm just happy that you're here, friend, because I have definitely missed you. So very happy to see you. To see lots of you guys that are always here supporting. Okay? So let's do it. Who's playing along tonight? And even if you don't have the pad, and you're just using foundations, go for it. Or you have any other fibrous papers or different papers, watercolor in your stash, go for it. We're gonna do this and we're gonna paint 2 at the same time. Isn't it crazy? So we're going to start with stencil stamping. So I'm going to paint on this and I'm gonna stamp it. And I'm gonna do that on both of these sheets. I'm going to tell you, because we're painting through a stencil that your medium's going to go through, let's grab something non-porous like a sheet of plastic, or if you have an extra craft mat. Let me grab that because I know I have one handy. It is very well loved, right? But if I put my medium is just kind of sitting on here, I can pick it up and use it again. I'm going to go with that same color palette because I really loved it. So I'm going to paint on here with acrylic paint, because let me tell you something. This one, if you have a background that you're not sure if it's going to absorb ink or the ink will work, you're going to have better results with your acrylic paint. So let's do the things. So I'm going to use my paintbrush that I lost already. There it is. I'm going to use a flat one, right? And we're going to just start kind of putting some paint on here. And what's nice is it's going to go on both sides pretty much. Okay? So let's get some paint on there. Messy. If it feels a little thick, take some of it off. You need to have a paper towel handy. I'm going to mist this with some water so that paint will move around. So doing it off screen. And I am going to start it. I'm going to start here. I painted on top of it, and I'm okay if it bleeds through a little bit. Let's kiss it with a paper towel. Oh, I should have kissed it with another sheet. Another sheet. I love it. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get more medium off without even putting more paint on there. Let's see. Love it. Okay, so set that aside and let's do it on there. I have all this paint on here, so let's use this now like it is a stamp. And I'm going to put the positive in there. Okay, so I'm going to brush that all in there. Now we talk about, right, if you have a scrap piece of paper, what would be super helpful is instead of pressing a paper towel on here, is you could pick this up with a scrap piece of paper, right? So you aren't wasting. And you could use that later for die cutting, other things. I love it so much. And this is the fiber paper. And we're going to do it again. Just going to pick up some of that paint. And rub it on there. Love it. Love it. In case you didn't know, I love it. So I will clean my stencil. So if I want to use it again, it's ready to go. I love that blue too. So this one they call saltwater taffy in here. Now, when this paints came out, they're much more viscous or less viscous. They are very runny comparatively to the originals, right? Which were better for gel plate printing. So they tell me when the new set, when the reorder comes in, we've tested the paints and they're more like the original. If you have my original acrylics, they're more like the originals. So these ones are more like more of a high flow acrylic, and the next ones will be more viscous, resisting flow for the next batch. Okay, so let's just wipe this up a little bit. Do we want to use this paint on anything else? Let's make that decision. What other things do we want to do? Let's look. We could do, I have an idea. So let's pick another page. Just maybe our, this is regular cardstock. And let's add some metallic to this, and we'll do some just kissing. So I'm going to pick up, clean out my brush, and let's pick up some of the metallic watercolor, and we can blend it in. We can clean that off later. So we can put this on just full on, the color that it is, or we could press this through one of the stencils and see what we can get. So what's helpful with that too is if you have a brayer, because you want to add a little bit of pressure, right? So let's do that. So this is, I love, love, love these COSMIC watercolors. There is lots of sparkle in it. I love the pigment. I love that they dry to a solid. So I find for travel and storage, they really work nicely. And by adding, now we've made a metallic paint. So it's paint, right? Things you could do. You could pick up a makeup sponge, and we could, do you want me to stencil with this? We could stencil. So things, if going through Vicki's brain is that we could just kiss it, do a watercolor kissing, or we could do stenciling with it, or we could press this through a stencil. So whoever says whatever first, we can stencil with it. Let's do half and half. How about that? So why I like the makeup sponges is I have a little bit of control, right? So I am going to do this and pick up some of the medium, but because it's wet, you got to watch. It will bleed through your stencil, but that's okay. We are okay if it is a little bit of a looser outcome. The biggest thing you want to do when you're using wet medium is do not rub your page too much, because what will happen is you will pill the paper, right? But oh, how pretty is that? Look at that. Instead of just wiping this up with a paper towel, there's one option, and there is a metallic in it, a very slight. The more metallic you want, you would just put more of the paint in there, like this paint, right? So let's put some more drips on here. Because see, we're gonna go with that it bled under the stencil. We're okay with that. Let's add a little bit more. So we wanted that to happen. Okay, now let's do on the other side, because this is gonna go in a book. If we push this through the stencil, let's see what happens. So let's do it with this one. Right? You want this to be fairly wet or it won't go anywhere. Now what we're going to do is we're going to push this in through the stencil. Well, what's nice too is it's clear, so I can see where it's going, right? So this is not going to be nice and clean like if you were inking. This is going to be loose. It could bleed underneath the stencil. Might happen, right? But we're okay with that because, oh, look at that. That's fun. So you just want to push it in there. And everything that is on top of that stencil, also, you have an opportunity to pick it up with your scraps, right? So remember this sheet? Instead of wiping it on paper towel, let's see. Will we pick any of that up? Look at that. So that's what was sitting on top of the stencil. Let's lift our stencil and see what is underneath that. I love it. Love it. So I'm going to, because you've met me before, I'm going to go quickly rinse my stencil off. Because don't forget, we have fronts and backs to do, right? But it's so much easier for me to just quickly run these through a little water. Especially because there's metallic on it, that I might not want metallic on the next thing that we do. I love it so much. Look. And this was on the cardstock. Look at that. Can you see the sparkle in there? Very fun. Okay. So I just rinse these quick. I really want you to set up the space and to be doing what I'm doing fast. Just put it down. Make the art fast. I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to freely be making art, having fun with it. Don't overthink it. Everything is one layer. So we can add lots of different things on top. But I want this, the whole idea tonight is just to sit down, put a layer, set it aside to dry, and see what the next thing, what's the next thing gonna be? What other thing can we put on top of it, right? Like, look at that. Love it. And we're gonna come back and revisit because it's dry enough for me to play with this now. We're gonna clean off our little paint palette, masking section here, so that when we go to use another color, I don't forget and then have blue when I didn't want blue. I'm getting a sink in my craft room tomorrow and couldn't be more excited. I understand that if you do mixed media or painting or the art, when I moved my space to the basement, That was my first priority, is I need a sink because I want easy cleanup. So I totally hear you, my friend. Super important. Okay, yay. They're dry enough for the next step, which if you need a review, we're gonna stamp and we're gonna paint. I love it so much. Can you see that? We're gonna stamp and paint. That's no fun. I'm sorry that your laptop bit the dust. You do mine at the kitchen table. I agree. Kitchen table, you need space for this. One of these things is you need space because we're just making a mess. We're throwing the stuff on there. We're having fun. This literally, when you're having a rough day, like my friend Keisha said, it's having a rough day. I'm right there with you. I'm having a rough day. And like I said, I was gonna cancel it tonight. And then I said to Rich, no, I'm gonna come on and I'm gonna make some art. And I feel a little bit better already, right? Circle stamps are one of my favoriteest things. I love a circle because it is versatile. You can layer them and easy to paint in because I don't have to be like a Picasso. So let's find where Vicki put her stamps because remember, I was going to be super organized. And that went out of the window already. Art is healing. It is, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it really does make a difference. And I have to tell you, for me, it's not only the art, the community. Oh my goodness, you guys, you heal my soul. You heal my soul. So I'm going to, so we have options. This is going to be in a book, right? It's going to fold like this. So we have options that we could do the same art right through the page, or we could vary it. So on this one, I'm going to do the same art right through the page. This one, I'm going to vary it. I love, this is one of my favoriteest stamps ever. I love things that look like paint rings or coffee rings. I'm going to do this with the Gina K. We're going to give that a try. Amalgam ink. I know that it will work fine on the watercolor paper. Let's see. We're going to hope for the best on here. Actually, I'm not going to use it. Yes, we are, Vicki. Just go for it. But remember, I told you guys that this doesn't really dry. So we're going to see. But we're going to do that sealing thing, I think, right? Didn't we decide? We're going to seal it. So I'm going to set up my pattern. I'm setting up my pattern, right? I want one of them to go off the page, so let's do that. This is a craft mat, okay, on here. There. So even though it's a craft mat, let's wipe that off so I don't have to use tons of elbow grease later to clean that. Okay, so I started my pattern. I've laid out my pattern. Okay. Hello, Mary. How are you? Did I see that you're away, Mary? Are you away now? And then this one, I'm going to do a circle in the middle. I'm going to turn this like this because don't forget, we are going to layer ephemera on here later. So look at, we could do butterflies in those circles. You could do hearts in those circles. We could sew in those circles. Now, especially that we know Vicki has a sewing machine that works. So we can do that on this page. And what else could we do? What is a different pattern? Maybe just highlight one circle. Oh, I have an idea. Are you ready for this idea? So we're going to do this. Get ready. I'm going to show you my idea. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Why not have a peekaboo on the page? Can we get it in deep enough? I wasn't very good with my placement. So let's pretend that I did a better job than I did. That worked, right? It worked well enough. So who is with me? Who am I going to get on board with doing mixed media that does not have to be photo based? Because the majority of my followers are scrapbookers. And I want this year, we've talked about it, and I feel like you guys are more comfortable with the idea of this, is I want to start art journaling. I want to start doing things that, not necessarily traveler's notebook size. I want to do kind of that 6x8 size because I need bigger. I struggle because I need space, right? So I really want to get to doing things that doesn't mean I'm going to give up scrapbooking, so don't get scared. But I do want to just make art with no purpose at all, just for the fun of it. But I like the 6x8 art journal size. I would like to do where we start hand making journals. I would like to do so much layering. Oh, I have so many ideas. I'm going to go in with pink, okay? I'm going to do pink and bright yellow. So just put some paint down. Remember, it's on my sheet of plastic. So let's go in with pink and yellow. To start, anyway. Pink and yellow. So I'm going to use whatever your round, right? What is this, a number 10? It is a number. I can't see it. It's a number 10, I think. I think this is a 10. So we are going to start by just loosely, oh my goodness, I love it. Look at the freedom of that. Freedom, freedom. Right? So just deposit that pink in there. Just deposit that pink. Oh, I love that. Look at that on top of the blue. How fun is that already? Right? We're not even thinking about it. We're just artists, just doing our thing, our crafty, fun thing. Yeah, I'm going to carry this across here too. Pink. The freedom of the acrylic paint. And acrylic paint is a scary thing for some people, right? Now with the gel plate printing that we do, which to me, if you don't know what I'm talking about, when I start doing the gel plate, you need to get on board with it. I really feel like some things I'd let you go and say, yeah, you don't have to try it. With the gel plate, I really feel like you have to try it. So what's nice now, look at, we're going to get yellow and we're going to get a pretty orange too, right? Yellow, clean my brush. And then let's add that on here to make some yellow. Don't forget, or orange, don't forget, this is going to take a while to dry. This is not going to dry really quick because this has a plastic consistency to this paper. So it will have to set up and dry. I wonder if I paint a little bit on my ink, if that will create a barrier. We're going to try that. I'm going to paint on the black. See if it creates a barrier on that black or not. Am I missing anything? Sorry. I'm now getting into doing the arts. And then I'm ignoring you guys, so I apologize. Just holla. Holla. So we'll see if, oh my goodness, I love this so much. Can you tell? I absolutely love this. Okay. Very fun. And it is semi-transparent, but do you see that wet? So we have to let that dry. But aren't those colors with the blue? When I did this one, this made me super happy. Super happy! So part of me, I think, is it bad? Maybe let's start with the yellow. Let's do the reverse. If I do the same thing, is that bad? If it makes me happy. So this is the watercolor paper. So is this a really good watercolor paper? No, it's not. But look at what you pay for this pad of paper. It's not going to be like really great artist quality water paper, but it's textured, it's porous, it's going to react differently than some of the other papers. But I just want you to know you're not paying for like really great quality watercolor. But look at how the paint goes on here, completely different. Now I want you to know that it's a fibery paper, so you don't want to overwork that paper, because you know what'll happen is you'll start to pill it. And if you're like, what does pilling the paper mean? It'll start to tear. You'll get that like beading on here. So we're just going to color around our opening a little bit. So play with your water. Too much water, not enough water. Let's throw another color on that one. Just out of curiosity, why aren't you using foundations paper? Because this is brand new. It's a brand new SKU that we have not used at all. So my purpose tonight was to come on and use the stuff that a lot of you guys have bought, but I haven't showed you at all. So, you know, foundations is still a go-to for me, but tonight is about the new, and I'm going to leave that alone. I like it. But do you see now? Totally different. I'm going to give this a blast with the heat gun. The acrylic is not thick enough. I've watered it down where I don't have to worry about it bubbling. But I want to be able to work on the back of this quick. Okay? Oh, my heat gun is very knotted up. Earworm. If it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. I sing all the time. Right? I do. I've missed stuff, right? Sorry, it's very knotted, so I'm going to have to pull it closer to my heat it tool. I'm not baking it like a cookie. I just want to remove some of the moisture so that we can flip it and work on the other side. Okay? So I don't want this to buckle or get all crazy. But I do want to be able to do some stuff on the other side. Yeah, junk journals, look it. There are no hard and fast rules to anything. Junk journal is like, can be a glue book. It can mean just finding found things like ephemera, and you could put book paper, you could put all different papers in it. I just, back in my 7 Gypsies days, we did junk journals. We did a lot of junk journaling. So I call it a junk journal, art journal, whatever you want to call it. I learned a long time ago. I don't get too caught up either in the names. I know some people get very caught up in like, are you an artist? Am I an artist? What the name of the stuff is. I have always been like, you can be whatever you want when it comes to your creativity. So I just call it a junk journal because I just throw all my junk in it. Layer my art, do all the things, right? I might be a liar, and maybe this is not what a traditional junk journal, what it's called, right? But I've always said, I just do the things. I like the sound of it. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I don't know at all. Just making it up as I go along, right? But yeah, junk journal, art journal. Did you plug in your devices? Yes, Julie. I'm getting better. You pick up your order tomorrow. Can't wait. I love it. Just out of curiosity, I answered that one, right? I think that I got all the things right. Yeah, I don't know either, Jen, what a textbook. I'm sure it's out there. You probably could look it up, and there might be something, right? Makers make. What's the name? What's the name matter anyway? But you know what I mean? Like, some people would be like, oh, well, this isn't what my thought of a junk journal is. And I'm like, well, maybe it's not. I think I've always called it a junk journal more than art journal. Here, this is what Vicki, I would say junk journal if I'm putting like a lot of my scrapbook stuff in it, or book paper, or other things, then I just adding junk in there. When I think of my art journal, it's more like my mediums and my drawing and stenciling and painting. So I think when I think of those two things, like my art journal would be more loose, and my junk journal would be more like if I'm gonna add ephemera. I think that's how I would like differentiate between the two. But like I said, probably not. It's probably not traditionally what it is, but it's what I call it. I love this, right? And it's almost dry. But like I said, if you heat this paper, it is going to melt, because it is not. None of this came to me to test. They just put it together and put my name on it. And then I'm like, no problem, I'll just use it and figure out how to use it. This one I would not paint on the back of it because I love it on both sides. That's kind of a more of a muted finish. And then this side is more vibrant. So this one is done as far as I'm concerned until we start decorating it. Because you could sew butterflies on it. You could sew another layer on the back if you wanted to give this paper some more stability. But I like it just standalone. So that one, we're going to be done. Okay. This one, we will have to do something on the back. So we know we need to do something with that. Let's look in my little book. Let's do this one. This one makes me excited. So let's grab the other sheet of the fiber paper. And I drew on it with the paint markers. And I went in with orange, and I'm going to go in with the orange again, but you can go in with whatever makes you happy. So I might do the handwriting on half, and then, and some on the bottom, and then we'll draw something else. So with these paint markers, you need to get the paint flowing in there. So you just press down, and the paint will fill the barrel and fill that tip. So when I go to handwrite on here, I'm scribbling, but you have to watch because it kind of catches on the paper. But I just want it to look like kind of words, right? So just make some that look like T's, that look like I's, O, S, right? But I just wanted it to look like I'm handwriting. Maybe an H. I try to remember not to do like just one little line. Throw in a heart. Could you write words? You could do whatever makes you happy, right? It's called EPHEMERA writing. Oh, look at Julie teaching us things. Oh, but look at those paint markers on here. I love it. So it's going to take a little bit to dry, right? But I love that. And now I am going to do carry it across. So that I can add some other stuff here. So it looks like just like part. Okay. So now we can decide what else would we want to put on here. So we know that not all of these mediums will work. So I had tried these. They don't dry. It doesn't dry on this paper because it's very non-porous. All the mediums sit on top. Did we decide if this is working? I don't know if it'll even dry on here, but it might. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to stamp some other things, let it set up a little bit, and then I can paint the matte medium on top of it. So what would I like to do? Maybe some flowers. So we know we can paint on these, right? So let's go in first with a little bit of paint loosely. And then I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to stamp on it. Nah, I'll stamp it first. I'm going to stamp it first. And then loosely paint on it. Love it. This is folded, right? So I don't have to carry the art right across it, because one is going to show up on one half and the other on the other half. I just want to take some of that wet ink away without being patient enough to let it cure, but I want to paint on it right away. Go with my round brush. Right, and now this has opacity to it, right? So it is going to cover up some of that black. And I'm going to just be okay with that, just loosely adding some pigment in there. And we'll see if that ends up sealing this a little bit too. So in a perfect world, you could have stamped these underneath on a piece of paper, and because this is transparent, you could have painted in the shapes and then went in and stamped on top of it. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? And we'll set this aside, see if it will, in fact, dry. We will take our chances, but it will take a little bit. So I'm going to set that aside. We will revisit this page. I love this. So if you're a scrapbooker, you could do this and sew it right onto your 12 by 12, right? Could you paint on the back? You totally could have. You totally could have, Julie, painted on the back of it. Because it's going to be in a book, but look, I can still just lift some of that medium up too, because it's going to take a bit for this to even attempt for it to dry on there, because like I said, it's a non-porous plastic material. So one of the other things, we have fronts and backs. Hi, Laura. Hi, Dandy. How are you? So we have the back of this that we could still put another circle on here too, right? That has to be painted. We have this one that we did this stuff on, which I love. We have the back of that. We have another sheet of watercolor. We have another vellum, which you could use any of these leave, right? So this is the writing on there. And it did dry beautifully. I love it. It just takes a little while. So that one, stencil stamping, just painting. So this, the stencil stamping, I'll show you, we're gonna do another page like that. So we're gonna lay the stencil down with the paint on it, and then we're going to color through it. Another piece of the vellum that I just drew on and stamped on top of. And then here, just using our little paint sponge, stamping, watermarking. Oh, and we can paint some flowers too. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna paint the flowers on here. Maybe you could do some collage on that non-porous paper and then add stamps. You sure could. Guess what else you could do? You could sew all over it, right? You could sew all over it. The paper's all out of my new mixed media stuff. It's out of this pad. Mixed materials pad. So Kimberly, when you get home, you can get it at my house. Just come visit me. So I'm going to paint flowers. So you want to make sure you don't do it upside down, right? So I'm going to turn it like this. And then if you have a round brush, you could take this, wet your paint, and then let's paint some flowers. So I'm going to take my round brush and I'm going to go boop, boop, boop. Turn your card, because your arm you can't turn, because you want that round portion to go flat like this into the center to get that kind of daisy pattern, right? Loose is fine, because we're going to draw on these. So let's do another one. Boop, boop. Turn your card, not your arm. Boop, boop, boop. Daisies. Little daisies. I'm going to start it like this. I'm going to go off my page. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Oh, so fawn lawn, I was still going to do it. What size brush is this? I think it's a 10. I think it's a number 10. It wiped off my brush, but I believe it's a number 10. So let's do another one here, here, here. Turn your arm. See, I just tried to cheat. Did you catch me? Sorry, friends. When I talk, it is the coughing. I'm home by myself, right? I go all day and I don't talk, and it's not too bad. But then I talk and then the coughing starts. So you see what I'm saying? Pull it into your center. Pull it into your center. I love it. And I don't want to cover everything. I just want to do we want to maybe another layer on that one? I think it's good enough. It's good enough. Yeah, I think it's a size 10. Let's give it a blast. So I love that. Stays on is dry and Lawn Fawn is dry. So Donna's Creative Cafe, when you press a piece of paper, does it lift at all? because I love that. I will definitely be going to grab some stays on, and I think I have lawn fawn. I'm just trying to get that paint to bleed into the flower. So not baking it like a cookie, but definitely trying to speed up the process, right? Do you remember what's funny? Do you remember last year we did a mixed media junk journal, art journal, where we built a whole bunch of pages, I'm sure, with my friend Tim Holtz. I think it was a whole Distress in Vicki Boutin mixed media. And what I love about doing, I love that. Thank you very much. So now we know I will order both of those to make sure that we have an ink that will work on those non-porous. Right? Purple flowers. And you know, look at, and they're metallic. Oh, I love it. So because the type of this, the album, the other thing, I don't care for my paper buckles. I don't care at all because of what we're making, right? So to give you an idea, like what we could do with this now, right? Can we make some art? Are you okay if I continue on with this? Because it makes me super excited. We could add some little leaves. We could add some little black flowers in there. We can look on our circle set. Is there a little one? No, nothing small enough. But the one thing you know I'm going to be doing is doodling on here. Doodly doodly doo. How are these markers different than your older markers? They're paint markers. These ones are acrylic markers. They're paint. So they are like the Posca. Now, they are not as expensive as Posca. So I'm finding, if you ask me, like, what is the difference with these? I would say that they dry a little shiny. They don't dry completely matte. But they are a paint marker. So you could draw on lots of different things. We could color. I would like to draw on some shoes. I think one of our lives should be everyone goes out and gets themselves a pair of white tennis shoes and we could make art on them. I love it, right? So I love that no lifting with both, but my archival lifted everywhere. So I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, my archival lifted. So you know what we're going to do now? Even just kind of be inspired by the art there. Let's draw some lines on here. So it will be our layer of black, right? So let's go with this one again. Move your arm, not your, or move your page, not your arm. So we're gonna go in here and I'm just gonna add some doodly doos. Now, make sure your paint is dry, because I know I'm probably pushing it, that the paint isn't dry enough, but I don't have the patience that I need. So I am just going in here, and then I'm going to also use the paint markers on here for the centers of my flowers. But see, just adding some detail on here, make them come to life. I love that idea. Paint rocks for acts of kindness. People love finding those, right? And it's a great thing to do if your kids are at home or if you're a granny and you are watching the kids over the summer. That is an easy craft, right? Go out and find some rocks. I have to go and get some new microns. This is my favorite black marker. So do you also notice that you don't want to draw and put your hand in it? So make sure when you're drawing, you don't start at the bottom and then go to the top and then your hand sits in it, right? And this is very loose, and I'm totally okay with that. Very okay with it. There. Oh, one more. Almost forgot that guy. And be careful, because it is up at the top. And definitely not as dry. Because I can feel how my marker is catching in the paint. There. Okay. Watch what you're dragging it into, Vicki. My goodness. So what centers? Oh, I think I'm going to go with this one. I love it. Get my paint started. Oh, I love it. I'm going to shake that a little bit. Whoop, a little bit more. Sorry, I was shaking the whole table. See? It was coming out not as chalky as it should have. So I'm literally going to put dots in the center of these. Look at that. Love it. So it is like painting with acrylic paint in a marker. So you get lots of coverage. That is fun, fun, fun. And we can come back and do some other stuff later. But I love that. But we'll have to set that aside to dry. That's a lot of paint sitting on there. The paint markers are fun. Now the one thing, okay, I'm going to give you tips with the paint markers. You don't want to, they deposit a lot of paint, which means a lot of moisture. So the biggest thing is do not draw over the same section while it's wet, because what will you do? You'll pill your paper. Let's do something on here. We can do a paint marker on here too. So I'm going to have it on this side. We can go in. Let's go with peach maybe. Give them a good shake. But you don't want to like take your marker and draw like that. You want to deposit the color, and if you want to build a layer on it, let it completely dry, because it is friction and it's wet, and this is porous paper, right? So that's a big thing. You want to make sure, ooh, I love that color, that you don't muck up your paper. So what about if we go in here and do, and it's just a doodly little bit of fun, right? And we could add other stuff on here later. But do you see how much pigment is deposited with those paint markers? Look at that. So I love them. And we can let that dry too. So what do we have? What else do we want to do? Oh, I want a stencil stamp. So all this stuff is drying. Let's pick something that we can stencil stamp. So this is the cardstock, okay? Cardstock out of the pack. So let's pick something we haven't used. Have a little drink. And which stencil haven't we used? Ooh, I love that one. Let's do this. And for here, I'm going to do just the side like this. So we're going to paint on here again. But let's paint with our watercolor, because we didn't do that, right? No, we painted with acrylic. So let's paint with the watercolor. It is great coverage, but I just want you to make sure that, like, learn from me is don't work the same area, because you will very quickly tear the paper. I have the paint markers on order. Do they mix with paste like a watercolor? No, I'd say no. They're acrylic, and I don't even know what's in it. But look, there's a metallic one. We'll use that one too. And the white one, so why I love this, look at, I drew in here with some black somewhere. Look. So you know how it's very hard to get white on top of anything, right? So look at. That didn't make any sense, but look at that. Love that. That's on black acrylic paint. Look at that. They are perfect for junk journal and your, what was I going to say? Art journals. Right? Love it. So let's go in here. What color do we want to use now in this little palette? How about green? But I need to, green and gold is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to paint on my stencil with my COSMIC Watercolor. And then I'm going to take one of my foam and I'm going to put a second color through it. Okay. So let's put this down. Ooh, I love it already. Deposit. There's so much pigment, and I find whatever the binder is in this product works really well. Like, it's nice and thick. So even though it's water soluble, it's like a watercolor, it really is magic. So now we're going to mist this. I'm going to mist it off screen, but I want it to be wet. Otherwise, it's not going to transfer, okay? So lots of water on here. We're going to press that down just off the edge, like that. You're going to take a paper towel and you're going to press into that. Otherwise, you're not going to transfer the paint, okay? And if you have a brayer, this is something else you want to add to your creative toolbox if you don't have it. Because look at the pressure I can add that I couldn't maybe do with my hand, right? Now, this is doing two things. That just pressed that paint into the background. The other thing it did is pick the paint up off the back. So when I want to go in here, you could totally go in here with distress ink, but I'm trying to stick to just using this. But you know what, I would totally use an ink blending tool with distress for two reasons. Because I'm going to put metallic in metallic. If I went in there with distress or oxide, it's going to have a matte finish with my metallic finish. So that would be lovely, right? Do you store your markers standing or laying? Mine have been like this. I've had no problem. I know we need more colors in these paints. I love them. More to the point is to ask Kate Hudson if she got to meet. She did not get to meet me, but we would have been the best of friends. What did I say? Gold? I said gold, right? So I'm going to go in now with my foam. And look I can totally pick up. You just got to make it wet enough. My pigment. Whoop, right? And use it like an ink. So I'm going to put that gold through here. Ooh, I picked up a lot. Picked up a lot. She went right past me, and Rich is like, that is not Kate Hudson. I'm like, that is Kate Hudson. I follow her on the interwebs, and I recognize her husband. And that's who I saw. Kate her head was down, and she was putting sunscreen on. So I only saw the back of her, and I saw her daughter. And I was like, that's totally her. And Rich is like, there's no way. And I'm like, dude, why do you question me? I always notice these things. And sure enough, she posted later. Oh, I love this so much. She posted later a picture, and it was her. Look at that, my friends. Can you see the metallic loveliness? This is one of my favorite ever stencils, right? I don't have share sale for Joann, but I'm sure Natalie can post for maybe. I didn't ask her, so I don't write. Natalie's got other things to do. Because there's share a sale for if you buy this on scrapbook.com or on A Cherry on Top. I don't know if Simon Says Stamps is carrying any of this. You know, I like to just add a few paint drips now. I love this so much, I can't even tell you. But I don't like them all to just be little ones, so I will go and tap into that so that it looks a little looser. Oh my goodness, that gold too is like a great gold for ink drops. Okay. There. Love it so much. She posted. She is a rock star, that Natalie. That Natalie D'Souza takes very good care of me. I have no patience though, so I'm picking all that up. I don't want to wait for it to dry. Do you guys see this? Do you see that? Yeah, I don't even know. And I just saw that Joann's is no longer. They were shipping to Canada and they're not anymore. I just saw that on their website. Like I said, for my friends, I'm going to do a sale with my mixed media stuff too, to help you guys out. So it's coming. I just have to set it up, but probably by next Friday, whatever we do in the live. Well, we have to do a walkthrough the new Christmas collection too, right? And I'm getting stuff this week. I just don't know how much of it is coming. So I don't know if I have enough to do the walkthrough or not. It's so early for Christmas, right? So you're going to see pre-orders up and all the rest of it. But look at, there is stuff sold out with Bold and Bright already. Do you know the albums? If you want an extra album, and they short ship me 72 albums. So I ordered what I could find online. But the album for for Bold and Bright, they're gone already. And this is where I'm so sad that the Christmas one, that they canceled it, because people like the 6x8 albums. And we just need to get Notions and other places ordering more of them, because now they're all gone. Bold and Bright albums are sold out everywhere. Would you consider doing a 10 plus layout only class? In what? I do 10 plus layout all the time. But with what? With Bold and Bright? I just don't know if there'd be enough interest in it. Do you know what I mean? If I'm already doing the weekend event. And I know not everyone likes to do the albums, but the reason for me is that's, again, how I make, like I do these lives and all the rest of it for free. This is pretty much a whole class, right? But it makes it hard when it comes to doing just the 10 plus layouts, because if I separate it, then people won't buy the whole kit thing, and it just makes it hard, right? For Christmas, probably not. It'll just be the weekend event. But look at, you have options that I'll have extra stuff on my website that you can put your kit together for. And access only is not that expensive. So if you wanted to do that, the access, but I use like that huge package. I'll use some of the ephemera from the icons, some of the journaling, split it all up. It makes it really hard to do the 10 plus layout. And the album class, and how do you split your ephemera and all the rest of it. So it's a tough one, but I know for you guys that just like the, look at it, it's dry. For you guys that just like the scrapbooking and you're not as much into the albums, I know it's tough. But that's the only other option you have, right? Is you can do the access only. So look at, those are dry. I love them. So they're both script, but one was a stencil, one was my hand drawing. This one, oh my goodness, look at with a paint marker on it. And then the metallic. Oh, I love it. Love it. Love it and love it. It's dry already. See? And they didn't even actually dry all shiny. They dried matte. So we did the stencil stamping, but I didn't do anything on the other side, did I? So let's do some stuff. So what else can we do? I didn't want to pull out my distress, but it makes it really hard when I just want to throw some ink down, right? Let's see what we can do with these. Let's see what we can do. Because they are not, right? It's not that type of ink. These are beautiful stamping inks, but they're not really blending ink, but we'll try it. Let's go in with yellow. And I will take another one of my foams and let's see if we can use it. It just won't go for very long, right? It dries really quick. Because it's not that kind of ink. But I really wanted to stick with just stuff that you guys have collected. So if you don't own the other things that I'm not making you grab, lots of different things. But let's put that down. That looks pretty. It worked. So in a pinch, it worked. So we'll layer some stencils. We're going to layer some stencils and we can stamp and do all the things on top of it. Do some of the teal. This is a tough stencil for this kind of jazz because your foam can get caught in the stencil, right? And it doesn't necessarily blend out. But let's see. What are we gonna get? Oh, I love it. It's pretty, and where the ink blended on that side, right? We did it. We did it. So this is kind of a graffiti page, right? Just make sure when you're doing it, so it doesn't transfer to your other side, that you give your table a wipe after you do these things, right? So you aren't inadvertently transferring ink where you didn't want to transfer ink. Now, it is not a water-soluble ink, so just do your best cleaning it off your stencil. But this might just take a little scrub brush later. I'm going to leave it. So what can we do now? You know what I want? That black. Sorry if this has already been asked. I might have missed question. Are you doing 10 plus Bow Bunny Charmed? No, it's not a 10 plus. It is a whole event. So the Bow Bunny and the Maggie Holmes and 49 and Market, it's the Crafty Garden. Is it Crafty Garden? Is going to be a weekend event. So it will be sorry, I'm having a brain fart. It will be an album, a Simple Story Snap album, and layouts, if that makes sense. So I'm going to paint some black now here as a area to draw on, stamp on, add ephemera on. So I have ordered all of it, but it is not a 10+ layout. There, I don't know if I'll have another 10+ layout this year. It might not be till next year. Unless, because I don't even know what collection I would use right now. There's nothing coming out with American Crafts other than Christmas and Paige's Halloween. And I don't know what else is coming out. This time of year is hard, right? A lot of it is seasonal, right? A lot of it's seasonal. I'm just going to leave that. And once that dries, we can use the paint markers on it too, right? But we can also tie that black in now with some stamps. Put that in there so it dries. We can do that. Or I can act like I want that. Carry across. They're good stamping ink. It's a good stamping ink. Use the VersaFine just because I like the blackness of it. So I want that black to carry across. So I'm going to stamp it like that. And then that is a good base when we go to add ephemera on it, texture paste, like all those things that will be our next layer, right? And then that's the other side of it, right? A quick blast so I can work on the other side. So we are laying the bones down to build a book. The bones to build a book, right? The bones to build the book. And I want to be able to flip this over and do the other side. Because what other things do we want to do on this side? So there's things too, right? When you're doing this, like you could go in and we could just paint. We could paint on here. So I could go in now with, maybe do this like tone on tone. And I could create like a watercolor and just paint around my open areas. So I don't want to do this in a contrasting color, but maybe just adding pigment so it's not just white. And then I still could come in here and layer after some different stencils and stamps. But I want to take the white down a little. So we'll give it this kind of milky Tiffany bluish color. But adding lots of water because it's an acrylic. And you'll have lots of brush marks if you don't. So maybe that, because it is contrasty with the white, that I can make it more of a loose paint. And maybe some of this is going to be there. Any questions about anything so far, friends? Thank you for sticking around for a little bit. Is anyone working with me tonight? Making anything? Because I know you might not be making exactly what I'm doing because you might not have all the things. But you still could be doing a little mixed media or be scrapbooking. Excuse me, cleaning your area. So I have to start this week. I will be starting to make my class samples because I have 2 in-person classes still this year as well. So I have to make my samples for that. I have to get the product all arranged. I love that. But now I'm going to take a stencil right in the middle of that. So what one do we want to use? I think it's going to be this one again. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to grab my distress ink, friends. Just one color of distress. Because I'm going to marry those 2 pages right here. Are we okay with that if I pull one distress ink? I have it right here. There's an oxide. Look at it. Fossilized amber. Excuse me. Hello, Shelly. How are you? Shelly's OG. Shelly's OG. So remember, this is repositionable, right? So I can now line it up and carry that in. To fill that space where the flowers are. Love it. Only for the speed, literally, right? The speed of that. But we still can stamp. To be honest with you, like things I would like to do is still like sew on here, like tear a strip, or use my border punches and still add a layer on here. But right when we're done this, it's going to go like this and be a book. Right? So I love that. When you put another page in here, and we can sit and have some pressure on that. And then we could do some art marking. Oh, let's do it with the gold. Let's try the gold. I know, 27 days. Oh my goodness. Seriously. So let's just do some art marks. And I'll show you that gold metallic on here. And the black, because it's an acrylic, seals that paper, and these paint pens work beautifully on that. So it's not soaking into your background like it would be if it was just straight paper, right? So, and they're really good. The black and the white in the Vicki Boutin mixed media is really nice. Love that! So when it dries, do you see? And so you're like, why the paint pens? What's the difference? The paint pens are acrylic. So you're putting a very opaque layer down. So that's the difference. They're magic. You just have to figure out how to use them. right? You just gotta to know that they are wet, and the little nib is hard, so you can very much pill your paper. So you just got to be careful with it. So I dried that so you can see. Do you see the sparkle in that? Question, Natalie, the Simple Stories event will be next year too. I have to wait till they announce what it is, and you're going to understand what it is. It's all going to be dependent on how much Vicki can get done, right? Because I have the Spokane event, so 3 craft chicks. I have the She Loves Color event. We have Christmas. We have Bold and Bright. So it will whenever it gets done. But it is, Melanie, it is not a time. Like, it is something, when you see it, you're going to be so freaking excited about it. But it's something you can do whenever, if that makes sense. Yeah, Natalie knows. Like, when is the release date on that collection, Natalie? It's in next month, right? If there were WWHL, we would be drunk with Pill the Paper. What does that mean? What's WWHL? When is Spokane? The first week of August? Did I miss any other questions? But I love that. I love that. So do you see the building the layers, carrying the black across here? So now we could totally go and put embellishments, a title on here for art journaling. If you wanted to put photos on it, you could. And then we still, like, some of it I'm going to leave for now. But think, any of these stamps to go on here and stamp now, we could stamp, we could die cut. Don't forget this amazingness. Did you guys buy these? I can't wait to gel plate print on these. So this is like chipboard titles, and it's all in my handwriting, but these came out beautifully, and they have like a nice finish on it. We'll see you later, Keisha. And I love the size of it for scrapbook pages. But look at those. So they do have a little bit of a smooth finish on it, but it is matte. I love them. So look at on the backgrounds, right? Because any of this we could do. I hope we do more of these. And I would like them, like, there's only 6 in here. I would like them to be 20 in here. 20. But I think doing these on the gel plate is going to be freaking awesome. Because we could use them as a mask, and we could print on them. So that'll be a lot of fun, right? Yeah, it's all just starting, right? I've been away for 3 weeks. So right now I wanted you to see all the mediums. Like, look at these now that they're dry. Oh, I love them so much. The metallic, look at that purple. So let's fold. This one would be, do we want it to go like that? No, I want it to go like this. That, yeah, I'll fold it in. Fold it in, right? Because then, like, I feel this is what I'm going to do right now with this. I'm going to bring that turquoise in again, and now I know where my line is, and we are going to paint around that. Am I missing any questions? Yes, soon. My gel plate isn't ready yet, so now I use black, so my water is very dirty. So I could still use my other gel plates, right? But look at, oh yes, I want to add some color around these. This paper is very porous, so you don't have a lot of like open time. It's going to soak right in there. So you just have to know that. Oh, I love that. Oh, don't put the water as black, Vicki. Very dirty. So I'm just going to loosely put that in here and know that it's not going to be like a perfect painted, but I love that. Woo! See? I keep pulling to go in my water cup, and I can't because it's totally covered or full of black paint, or yeah, black water. So we're just loosely, just because now, do you see how that just kind of made the flowers come together? And they're not just kind of hovering out in space. And you know what we'll do if you had water in your cup that wasn't full of black paint. But let's put a couple water drips so it doesn't just end like that. We can have that kind of thing. It's very weird because, like, when I'm working and I can't look at the comments, and I am in essence talking to myself here, it gets really quiet when I just start working and I'm not looking at the comments. So very weird. The gel print that you are referencing, will it be a class or a Friday Night Live? I have a gel plate and I've never used it. There is a whole class already. I'm a gel plate user for years, but if you go on to vickiboutin.com, there is the gel plate class is there and available. And it was a 4-week class that gives you all the basics of the gel plate. So before I even start it, because I might do a 2.0 of that, like redo the class, but it is on vickiboutin.com. The gel plate class is available, and it is a great starter class. Actually, there's lots of info in there. That gel plate is your friend, really, when you talk about favorite things. See how that blue? It's light enough that even though this paper soaked up right away, that pigment, that made a difference, right? And don't forget, like, we can go and we can make stamp and cut out butterflies and put them in here and sew them. Won't that be cool? So the whole idea is I want you to just make some bases so that we can come back, right? And we can make our album. Like, in some of them, if you just leave them plain, is not a bad thing too, right? But these are all going to kind of layer together. And we're going to make a book out of this. Some kind of book. Am I missing anything? Is this all we did tonight? Because we'll need another page. I'll need something to separate. I wouldn't put those two together. Where's the vellum? I did not put a vellum layer. Where is it, Vicki? What did we do with the vellum? I don't even remember. What did we do on the vellum? Well, we did the handwriting, right? Do you guys remember? Because Vicky's having a brain fart. Oh, did we not do anything on vellum yet? I don't think we did. We got to do something on the vellum. I have 2 vellum sheets here. Hi, Robin. Is the charm... It's not available yet. It's not available yet. The charm stapler is shipping in August, I believe. So the charms are out. There's no stapler yet. So I will let you know. I will be bringing it in. I will do a deal. I'm going to sell the charms and the stapler as a set on sale. Like, I'm going to give you guys a deal. So it will, as soon as it's in stock, I will be bringing it in. And then you can find it online and in other stores and stuff. Okay, so we need to do something with the vellum. What did I do in my book? Did I do anything? The vellum is a good empty clear sheet too. But now the vellum is tricky, right? Because what medium? Oh, look at, I drew on it. I drew on it. And then Nikki It's snaky, and I drew on it. So the vellum is the last one that I didn't do anything. Use the lovely leaf frond stamp on the vellum, please. But what it, oh yeah, because I can stamp in black on it. Let's see if this paint, I'm gonna clean, look at that swamp water. Let me clean that. I wanna see if the paint will work on here. The other thing that will be cool with the vellum is to die cut from it. To use the dies for that. Oh, this is what a dork I am. I cleaned it and forgot to put water in it. Cleaned it, forgot to put water in it. But I want to see if this will work. So if I use this and make it not too wet, because this paint will go on rather opaque, right? My favorite stamp, this one, right? So this one we're going to do what we talked about. Do you remember that you guys said stamp on the back of it or paint on the back of it? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. So we're going to stamp in Gina. See, I could have masked it too. We'll just make it work like that. And fill it. Okay. Pink. Ooh, I love it. I just don't want to bake the paper, but I don't want this to be totally wet, so I can flip it and paint on the back of it. Okay, let's test it. How much transfer? Woo! I love it. Okay, let's paint on the back of it now and see if this will actually adhere. I don't know if it'll adhere on the vellum, but we'll try it. Actually, it's transparent enough that I could paint on the front too. But we'll see. I don't know if that's going to stay. And I made a mess, so let's try that again. I'm going very messy and loose. And then we'll heat set it and see what happens. I love it. You know what song's in my head? Everybody hurts sometimes. Hold on. I don't know why, but that is what is living in my head right now. So we are going to have some massive paper buckling with that water. So I will be the tester to see if we can get it to flatten out or not. We'll be the tester, but might not. That water could have changed the whole texture of the paper, which we're going to be okay with because it's going in an album, right? Oh, but look at that. So we'll see what happens. We'll flatten it out, but there's things that I think would be fun. Now, well, let's do the purple. But do you see? The metallic is there, but the paint, the water actually made the paper really porous. But I think we could flatten it out. But I do want to do like berries. My thought was because that will help with where the stems were on there. But it is very interesting to see now. Look at the wet medium, right? The inking was fine, but we will have to let that dry and see if that will flatten out. But things that I would do is I could line this with something and sew on it. Like back this with a piece of paper, right? So we'll have to see. But you know, I will be the guinea pig. We'll try it. But you saw the wet really changed that paper, but it doesn't mean that it won't flatten out when the water dries. Excuse me. So what else can we do on here? Let's do this on the other side. It's a mess. It's a mess. This is Natalie's favorite. She likes this script stamp. Ooh, I'm making a mess. I don't know where all that ink is coming from, but it's going to be all over me. Glad I just went and got my nails done, right? Do. Put water on here, but the water is not going to make a difference because these inks. We'll see if I'm going to wreck my Ken Oliver mat or not. So Magic Eraser cleans everything, but it doesn't work on this. So live and learn. I should have had a scrap piece of paper underneath it, but I think I cleaned it. And the only reason it matters to me is just because we film on top of this, right? That I don't want you guys to not be able to see because my mat's a mess. So see, everywhere it's wet, it's buckling, but I feel like, because I've used it before, once it dries, it'll be okay. But do you see the vellum? Buckle, 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 right? Alcohol pads, yeah. That'll work, Natalie. And I have hand sanitizer around here, so I will do that in a little bit because I've made a mess everywhere. So now we'll see as this dries, because I love that. Do you see the metallic? Whoop, whoop. But it'll still be pretty on this side. But options are we can take a piece or tear this and sew it onto our cover. We could tear around that and sew it. But we'll figure it out. But like I said, I have to wait to see if that buckly goes away. So now we have a piece of vellum. And the other thing we can do with the vellum too is die cut out of it, right? I'll put some weight on it, but I have to wait for the paint to dry first now because I use the paint marker. So once that dries, I'll put some weight on it and I think it will flatten out. And then you shouldn't have dirty hands because you get it everywhere. But can we see? Let's test something. Do you think this ink will dry on here? We're going to try and see what happens, because I would love if this ink would work on here. So I will be our tester to see if this ink will in fact dry on the vellum. Do, 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 do. Hold on. But I don't want to heat set it, so we'll have to just patiently, I will have to let you know. You'll have to remind me to let you know if it dries or not. Okay. Does not dry on vellum. I've done it before. Well, we'll see what happens right now. Because I don't know if it dries on this vellum. Because this vellum feels quite porous. So we will see. Because if it doesn't, I'll just seal it under another sheet of vellum. So we'll try it on this paper and see what happens. Because it would be really nice if it did, wouldn't it? But the other thing that will be magic is if I have zero patience. So let's wipe that. Purple dots. Ooh, I made a mess. But I don't hate it, so it's okay. Right? Because Vicki didn't want to wait. And right? This craft mat is huge. I don't even know what the size. It covers almost my whole table. You just can't get it anymore. It is from Ken Oliver, and it is a very large craft mat. I love it, but like I said, I don't know if you can get it anymore. Okay, not heating that anymore because I have to flatten this now. We're going to lay it on something. We'll lay it underneath something, okay? And we'll see what happens because we cannot put it through my my laminator, right? We can't put it through the Mink because that will not be a good thing. But we will flatten it. I'll put it under something heavy. Look at the mess I made there. Vicki, what is wrong with you? So now it needs some white berries too, because I made a mess. I love the white paint pen. There. Now nobody will know that Vicki was very impatient and had to put another color on there. And Vicki's gonna hope that this ink will dry. But isn't the white awesome? Oh, I love it so much. Just a few little art marks, right? And I will continue it, but they work, that works very nicely on here. The markers, the pens. So if nothing else, the pens will work, the paint pens work very nicely on the vellum. We'll set that aside to dry and see if I have to redo anything because I made a mess. But we had some fun tonight, right, friends? So we can stencil stamp with the paint. We can ink. We can draw. We have lots of different mediums. It all dried on here. Look at the paint all dried on the fiber paper. We stencil stamped and pounced color through it. I have to do something else on the background. Let's quickly do something. One more thing. We didn't use a heart stencil, did we? So let's do something with the heart stencils. Right in the middle. Do, 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 do. Okay, and then let's pick up some of that gold. Oh, this is very pretty. Very pretty. Look at that is awesome. So this metallic paint, if you don't add too much water, look, it goes on like an ink. How pretty is that? I love that. I love that. I would like to do a little bit more. This is not a pattern that continues, so we gotta fake it. Gotta fake it. But we'll just layer some gold hearts right on top of those. Let's see. Pretty. That bled a little. Let's see if we can pick that up. See the gold on top of the pink? Love it. And then we'll come back and stamp on top of that later. We'll look at do 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 do. Oh, okay. Remember? Am I missing stuff? See, this is what happens, that I get so into making the art that I don't even know what you guys are talking about. So I apologize if I'm missing conversation that I'm supposed to be following up on. Love that. Right? That's very fun. Very good. Very good. So that was, I will do stuff like this needs a finish, right, on this side, because when this folds, it will need art on the other side. Gotta watch, my hands are so dirty. Look at that. Right? And then we'll do something because it's just the border there. But you know, right off, one of the things I want to do, as we do, is put some drips on here because it will finish off like where I have some mess, like I got ink on my finger here. So I find that that is always forgiving to just put some taps on it. So if you spill, flick somewhere you didn't want to, get your fingerprint on here, just put some paint drops. Loving the edge with the fingers, right? Do. So find one clean paper towel if you can, Vicki. Because now I don't want to leave that just floating. So I will pick that up and just have that softness. There. So it's a layer. We can still do other things on top of it, but very pretty. So again, these are the things we did tonight. I feel like it's time I'll walk away from it now and I can come back and do. All of these things could be done on your 12 by 12. And if one of you guys does make some art on a layout, I'd love to see what you make. I still have some other sheets that we can come back later and do, but I'm not going to do it tonight. But look at, isn't that fun? And then our vellum when we can get that to work. Right? I will flatten that and see if I can't. But you see what I'm saying, where it could be cool is to just sew that on something. I'm gonna do it because my sewing machine is right here. Are you okay if I do that? Sew this. But we'll put this stuff all away now. Everybody hurts sometimes. I'm gonna sew. I have messes. I'm a messy, messy girl. So I hope you guys are inspired though to make some art. We'll put our little makeup sponges in the water. Make sure, I'm not losing anything. So now that. So it's going to be buckly, and we're going to be okay with that. I think we're going to make it more buckly. We're going to embrace that. Yeah, and we have the other side, right? The crinkly one, because we didn't use all of it. We still have the one other side, wherever I put it, the part I ripped off. So it still will be represented, the crinkly vellum. Where did I put it? The other half of that. I lost it already. Did you see it? This must be here. It still will be there, because that still can be a signature. Okay, the crinkly one. It still can sandwich in there. I don't know if that's going to dry or not, but right? That still can be a signature. So it's in my pile. Let's grab my big new heavy-duty sewing machine. We'll sew on this. See my gold thread? Look at that. Woo! Vicki's throwing stuff everywhere. Let me untangle. Heat guns are unplugged. Light is still plugged in. Phone is not plugged in. Okay, here we go. We're gonna sew. Here we go. Let's sew. Yeah, I agree with you. The crinkle one in there, I have one in the other one, right? Ugh. Doo-doo. We're gonna sew as soon as I can plug this in. There we go. Okay? I love it. Oh, I love this baby. So, let's start with this side, because I actually want it to go on all crinkled. Well, let's see if we can make that happen. Oh, this could be a pocket almost too, couldn't it? If you wanted it to, it could be a side pocket. You could slide stuff underneath it. Okay, where's the petal? Put the petal to the metal. They never make the petal length long enough, if you ask me. Woo-wee! Okay. Oh, okay, but it got caught. It did. I don't know what I do, how I do that all the time. I get that second string caught. But oh my goodness, look at the gold thread on here. Love it. I'm totally embracing the messiness. We're going to kind of quilt on this paper. That is my thought here. Oh my goodness, I love this so much. You ready? It's the little things in life. Are you ready for this? This sewing machine is the bomb. Look at that. I can't even tell you. I could almost cry. This makes me so happy. Like, that is totally my jam. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. This machine is like butter though, and this gold thread is the best thing that I ever could have bought for myself. I just want to do one more stitch at the bottom here. It is the best. I'll show you the front of it. Do I have the box? Yeah, I'll show you the box. It is from, I'll do one more little thing here because I wanted this bottom secured. It is from Michael's. That's where we bought it. My mama got it for me at Christmas, right? I'm so glad I finally opened it. Look at that gold thread. And I bought it at Michael's too, I think, or I ordered it on Amazon. But just this side of this page makes me freaking happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy. It is seriously the little things, isn't it? So let me show you this again. With that purple and the stamping and the drawing on it, like that page is my favorite thing I did tonight, right there. I don't know, I just opened the thread. It is just gold thread. I'm pretty sure I bought it at Michael's. Pretty sure it came from Michael's. But the thread is everything, isn't it? If there's anything I showed you tonight, right? Let's move this now. And I'll get the box because I just took it out. And I'll show you guys so you can see what the information is. And while I go get the box, let's just admire that. Oh my goodness, what do you guys think of that? The gold thread is everything. It would not have been as pretty, would it, without that gold thread? Oh, and it looks quilted. It's freaking awesome. I'll get the box in case you need a new sewing machine. Because I just opened it today. So if my mama watches this, Mama, the sewing machine is the bomb. It's this one. The 44252 Heavy Duty Singer. Yeah. It was a good deal. It came with accessories, a whole bunch of accessories. Not that I know what to do with any of it, because I don't sew on anything other than fabric. But this is what it is. The 4452 Singer Heavy Duty Sewing Machine. And it goes through paper like a dream. So you see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things, because I'm going to sew some more on here. Because I feel like stamping, die cutting, sewing. I love it. I love it so much. Right? Look at that. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Right? When we go through and do those things. Oh my goodness, look at the butterflies with the gold on that page. I love it. And then this one can go in here. Do you see what I'm saying? How fun is that? Do you care if you add photos in it? You totally could if you wanted to. You could add photos in this. Or don't you think the process of making was totally worth it? For me, it is. I just feel like this brings me, unlimited amount of joy. And then we'll just layer. I'll keep deciding what goes where. We'll put it together. I'm going to tell you a little story, though. I sewed on this one. And then I was going back and forth with the stitches. and it perforated the paper. So I think my stitches would have had to been wider. I only had them set on a 3. I think the stitch length has to be longer, or we could take an owl and perforate it, and I think that's how we'll bind this one. So when we come back to do the rest of this, adding embellishments and finishing this, we will, I'll put 3 holes in it and we'll stitch in there with the string that I have, so that we can bind it like that, right? Yeah, I think longer stitch length would have been fine, but it totally tore up my book. That's why you see washi tape everywhere, because the pages were torn out of it because the stitches were too short. But look at, this is out of the ephemera pack with the gold thread on it, but the washi tape doesn't really stick to some of this stuff. But see the page? Do you see it's all torn? Because the stitches were too tight and it totally ripped the paper. So live and learn. Don't do what I did, right? Or sew without thread, then go back and hand stitch. You could do that, but I'll just bind it with my owl and a needle and thread. And I bought waxed thread so that I could sew it, right? Or you could bind it, right? You could do it more bookbinding. We'll decide, right? But it's so much fun. So I'm going to flip the camera and then let me know what you think or any questions. But let's admire this page again close up, because this is my favorite. Let's admire that close up. Right? And then look at the paint markers close up. Anything else you wanted to see close up that you couldn't see? I love it all. I love how all of, like, look at, do you see what I'm saying with that peekaboo one? We can put pockets on these. We haven't done any of the embellishing, but I love it. And we will do like a proper book as well. I just wanted something that could be fast tonight, but we will definitely do some more stuff with this. We are not done. Like, oh, there's so much layering, and let me put my hand here so you don't see up my nose. Hi! Layering and mixed media stuff that I want to do, that I feel like I have talked you guys into it for a long time. I feel like you're there. You could do the things with me. And then we'll just practice with mediums. And right now it's just using, we didn't even use texture paste, like any of the texture paste, so we could go over this with a stencil. And I left it to just the things that were in the mixed media collection. But friends, how many Vicki Boutin stencils with all my releases? You must have tons of stencils if you've been buying the stuff. So I feel like we can totally layer all the different scales of the stencils. You could mix your mediums. You could pull in some of your Tim Holtz stuff. It's awesome. Like, look at, I'm going to bend down and show you. I was on a cruise, and one of the classes was a distress class. Sorry, friends. There was no sound because somebody was trying to call me. I didn't put it on Do Not Disturb. Can you hear me now? You can hear me now, right? Can you hear me now? Yeah. I saw the call coming through and I just ignored it, but I didn't know that it knocked my volume off. But yeah, I would like to do a class of all of these things, all of the things, because it's so much fun. Look at this one, the crackle. Oh, it's so good. So thank you so much for joining me. Does anybody have any questions? I think I covered a lot of class questions for Vicki Boutin Lollapaloozas that are coming up. Just to give you an idea, we have Bold and Bright weekend coming up. It's going to be awesome. And I have to tell you, Bold and Bright, FYI, is going to be the last class that will be as big and awesome as the Vicki Boutin classes have been in the past, as far as my Vicki Boutin product, because it's all changing at American Crafts and a lot of the SKUs are changing. It'll be the last album. So really, I feel like it's kind of my last hurrah of full-on Lollapalooza weekends. Christmas will still be good as well, the wrapped in ribbons, but moving forward, it's all changing. So I'm just saying, if you've really loved those weekends, you might want to get in there before those kits are gone. I had a lot of orders when my newsletter went out, so the Bold and Bright kits are dwindling, but it's all changing. It's a pivot. We'll do other things, but I just want you to know, like, if you really love those weekends, you don't want to pass on those next two kits, because like I said, things are changing. Things are changing. So I'm not going anywhere. I just gonna have to change some of the things that we do already, right? Who doesn't want hours of fussy cutting? You know, I will never complain about the fussy cutting, and I never will apologize, because I do. I love it, right? Yeah, lots of new things coming. There are a lot of new things coming. I never run out of ideas, so it's gonna be good. But thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to do my calendar up for, I want to finish this album. So this was part 1. For sure next week, whichever day it's going to be, probably next Friday, we'll do the part 2 of this album, where we're going to decorate it and put the next layer on. So we're going to sew on it. We're going to tear some pieces, get your border punches out. We're going to really funk this up, decorate the cover. So you can pick, I'm going to do the artist pack. I'm going to use the artist pack of the ephemera. So if you have that one, have it handy. We're going to add a whole bunch of we can add some of the acetate. We're going to layer some of the vellum stickers. It's going to be so much fun. So next week will be the other half of this album. And at some point, the walkthrough of Wrapped in Ribbons, and then a whole bunch of other mixed media stuff that's coming up. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming up. So thanks for joining me. Thank you, Natalie, as always, for helping me answer all the questions and doing the things. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Got to figure out I never can figure out how to shut this off. So we'll see you later. Bye.